This is your Sports Boys.
Yes, welcome you guys back and welcome you back since you haven't been here since our first podcast we ever made.
Today we'll be talking about our Super Bowl predictions and news around the league. And don't forget our Jazz fans with marketing making the All-Star game,
where we will have predictions for the Utah Jazz's upcoming games as well.
Now my prediction for the Super Bowl, Eagles take it and win 24-21.
Well, I would like the Eagles to win, but I still have the Chiefs winning. I think it'll be a close one, 17-24. So my prediction is that it's going to be a pretty close game.
Also, my prediction was pretty close, but will Patrick Mahomes' injury affect him?
Well, I definitely don't think that's going to be something that will hold him up because it definitely didn't against the Bengals.
Well, yeah, as a Bengals fan, that really sucked, but I still think it might affect him against the Eagles' D-line.
Okay, but do you think that Jalen Hurts is completely healed?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good, especially against the 49ers. He didn't show any weakness.
Well, now that we've talked about those injuries, here are some other key injuries that could affect the game. Here are the Chiefs' injuries, followed by the injuries from the Eagles.
Well, most of the injuries are wide receivers, but here's their injuries. Willie Gay, which is a linebacker. Mecole Hardman, wide receiver. Kadarius Toney, wide receiver. Juju Smith, wide receiver. L'Jarius Sneed, cornerback. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back. Tershawn Wharton, D-tackle. And Justin Ross, wide receiver. But a lot of those injuries are questionable.
Now here are the injuries from the Eagles. Their punter is injured. Josh Sills, their guard, is injured. Brett Toth, their offensive tackle, Janarius Robinson, D-end, Sean Bradley, linebacker, Tyree Jackson, tight end, Marion Tupolito, and Derek Barnett.
But all of those are out for the Super Bowl game, so will that affect them?
I would say yes, but I don't think they're that important to the team. I could be wrong, though. I don't watch much Eagles.
With a bad punter for the Eagles, it could affect the game because of the Chiefs' offense.
That is true. Well, I have the Chiefs winning, and Rich has the Eagles winning.
So we'll see on February 12th in Arizona at 4:30 p.m., and hopefully most of you guys will watch it.
If you're listening to this, you better watch it now.
Because it will be a crazy Super Bowl with these offenses.
Yes, these offensive players for the Eagles and the Chiefs continue to shine.
And don't forget about their defenses, shutting out the 49ers and the Bengals.
Oh yeah, I can't forget about those. Those are also a big part of why they're in the Super Bowl. Because those teams were both great offensive teams as well.
And that about wraps it up for the Super Bowl prediction. But if you want us to do some
other content
like Madden or 2K, leave it down in the comments and we might do it.
And there's probably a pretty good chance that we could do your content that you commented.
Also, if you want us to do another NBA team or NFL team, then just leave it down in the comments and we'll probably do it.
Because you are a big part of this channel's success.
Alright, now we're going to talk about these upcoming Jazz games, because I think they'll be pretty close. But how about you, Kason?
Yeah, I agree with you. Because I think the Jazz are a good enough team to compete with some of the other really good teams in the NBA.
We are going to predict the next 5 Jazz games, which is going through February 3rd through the February 28th.
Now we'll quit boring you and actually get to the predictions.
Starting with them versus the Atlanta Hawks at home in the Vivint Arena, soon to be the Delta Center, hopefully.
At the time that we are doing this podcast, the Jazz game versus the Hawks is playing right now.
So it's going to be live for us, but not for you. But if you want us to do a live one in the future, comment down below. If DeJounte has been doing as good as he has lately, then he'll destroy the Jazz.
I sure do hope not.
Scoring 220 fantasy points in his last 2 games. And 61 real points in his last 2 games.
That's kind of scary for the Jazz. And for me, because I'll be watching the game.
But will Trae Young be a factor because he was injured his last game?
He probably will because he's borderline all-star.
Yeah, he can splash those threes.
Yeah, ever since he came into the league as a rookie.
But you know, Markkanen's just as good as DeJounte Murray.
Yes, I actually do know that.
But will Clarkson be able to lock up DeJounte?
I don't know if lock-up's the word I would use, but he should be able to guard him effectively.
Tell me how John Collins just hit a 3.
I don't know, but that's why in one of the Jazz talks, I talked about how we need to pursue John Collins in our trades.
Yeah, definitely. John Collins would be a huge factor for the Jazz. So my prediction for the Jazz score is Jazz win 121-115.
My prediction is definitely the Jazz, but I predict that it will still be a close game.
All right, so we're both taking the Jazz. So we'll move on to the next game on February 6th versus the Dallas Mavericks at 7 p.m. My prediction is I got to take the Mavericks this time because I feel like Luka wants his revenge on the Jazz. What do you say, Kaysen?
I believe that the Jazz can beat any team in the league, led by Captain Lauri Markkanen. And don't forget about Defensive Player of the Year Walker Kessler.
That's saying a lot for a team that's rebuilding.
Rebuilding around Lauri Markkanen and Kessler, so it shouldn't be too hard, along with all those draft picks they've got.
Well, I guess you could be right, but I still take the Mavericks over the Jazz that game.
Give me the Jazz.
All right, I respect that coming from a Jazz fan.
I know that they won't win every game, but I got them winning that game.
All right, moving on to the next game. February 8th versus the Rudy Gobert from France, Minnesota Timberwolves. Sorry, our friend's a Timberwolves fan, and we hope we destroy the Timbs.
Oh yeah, and we stole their whole roster. And a lot of their picks. And one of those players was Walker Kessler, so how about that?
And we are at home, so Rudy will be coming back home to Salt Lake City for the second time this year. I'm taking the Utah over Minnesota, and I say they win by 15 points.
Are you not concerned about Anthony Edwards at all in that matchup?
Oh, we have the Defensive Player of the Year, Walker Kessler, so I think we're chilling. Don't you feel that way, Kaysen?
Yes, for sure.
All right, so you're taking the Jazz over the Timberwolves.
Yep, I'm taking the Jazz.
All right, good pick.
Yep, that's my hope.
All right, moving on to the next game, February 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Vivint Home Arena. All these games we've mentioned will be at home, which is a great advantage for the Jazz. But our 23rd game is versus Shai Gilgeous, so it's going to be a tough one. I'm taking a close one, but I got to go with the Jazz. How about you, Kaysen?
Yeah, I know it'll sound like that I choose the Jazz every time, but I definitely got to take them for this one, too.
Yeah, my only worry is Shai Gilgeous, but hopefully we can lock him up.
Yeah, we have his cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, to lock him up.
Yeah, I bet they'll be competitive because they're cousins.
That's the hope, anyways.
All right, so both of us choose the Jazz for that game, so we'll move on to February 25th at 7 p.m. Utah Jazz versus San Antonio Spurs, of course, at home. This time, I'm going to take the Utah Jazz because Devin Vassell's still out, and that's a big factor for the team.
Yeah, you could have just said that they have no one, because, yeah, that's what you meant, I'm pretty sure. So I got the Jazz.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant, but the only player they have is Keldon Johnson. I don't know if he can carry the whole team.
He's a good player, but he's not going to carry them.
Especially with the defense we have on the Jazz.
Yeah, our defense has been pretty excellent this year with the addition of Walker Kessler, and Lauri Markkanen's a pretty good defensive player as well.
Oh yeah, and what about that LeBron foul they didn't call? That was clearly a smack on the arm.
Yeah, I found it funny how he was crying on the ground.
Yeah, but it probably would have ended the game.
For sure, it was a clear foul, but it was just funny to see LeBron pounding the court.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Oh yeah, Patrick Beverley got a technical for showing the ref the replay on his camera. Didn't you find that quite interesting, Kaysen?
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before, but I'm not surprised that it was Patrick Beverley who did that.
Yeah, I mean, that ref missed a clear foul.
Yeah, but there's other refs, so they all basically missed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they want LeBron to be his full potential, bro.
Yeah.
And that pretty much wraps it up. So let's go Jazz, and that's our Super Bowl prediction.
Yep, for sure. Go Jazz.
And don't forget about those Eagles.
Yeah. I want them to win, but I don't have them winning in my predictions.
Yeah, since I'm a Bengals fan, I can't cheer for the Chiefs to win.
Okay. That's, reasonable.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on Your Sports Boys.
Over and out.